Hi, have you ever witnessed a situation where someone was delivered of an unclean spirit, and then somewhere down the road you met the same person possessed with unclean spirit, and then you began to wonder, was this person delivered in the first place? When the unclean spirit has gone out of a man, he walks through dry places seeking rest, and finding none, he says, I will return to my house from which I came out. And when he comes, he finds it swept and decorated. And he goes and takes 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. And entering in, they dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. In this Bible passage we just read, Jesus explains that when an unclean spirit leaves a man or is cast out of a man, it goes and seeks for another dwelling place, that is, another person to possess. And if it finds none, it will return to its initial home, that is, the person from whom it had been cast out of. And if it finds this man empty and well clean and decorated, it doesn't just repossess this man. It goes back and looks for 7 other unclean spirits that are more wicked than itself. Together they come and possess this person. And the person's latter state is worse than the initial state. Allow me illustrate this in a layman's language. Imagine a man that is possessed with the spirit of lust. He comes to church for deliverance. Let's assume the spirit was a little bit stubborn to leave this man, and prayers were made for about an hour before this unclean spirit of lust finally leaves this man. Because this unclean spirit cannot dwell on this earth unless it possesses a physical body, it goes about seeking for who to possess. Finding none, this unclean spirit decides to go back to this man who it initially possessed. Upon finding this man, the unclean spirit of lust finds him empty. That is, the church had not led this man to Christ. The church had not taught him the ways of the Lord. Or this man was not shown how to occupy himself with the things of God. He was not shown how to walk in the Spirit. Therefore, he did not fill that gap which the unclean spirit left with the Holy Spirit. This spirit of lust finds him clean, tidy, decorated, but empty. Now, this unclean spirit has not forgotten how it was cast out of this man. It took a prayer of 1 hour. This spirit knows that if it repossesses this man, and this man runs to church for deliverance, it will require just another prayer of 1 hour to cast it out, because that is how much it can withstand. So, what does it do? It begins to seek other spirits stronger than itself, other spirits that can withstand 1 hour, spirits that might require fasting and prayers in order to be cast out, spirits stronger and more stubborn and more wicked than itself. When this spirit has gotten 7 other spirits stubborn, stronger and wicked than itself, and they possess this man will no longer find himself lusting, but actually falling into fornication and other acts of immorality. And when this man realizes himself and runs to God or to church for deliverance, an hour prayer is no longer enough to deliver him. We are tempted to think, was he delivered in the first place? This is because the united strength of this unclean spirit requires more than an hour prayer. A deliverance that took 1 hour might now require several hours. It might even require fasting and prayers. This explains why we should avoid compromising or returning back to some old sinful habits. That little sinful habit that took us just a word of prayer to rebuke might now require us prayers and fasting to get rid of it if we do not fill the gap it left with the Holy Spirit, if we do not occupy ourselves with the things of God, if we do not walk daily according to the Spirit and not the flesh.
Join us in spreading the life-changing power of the gospel. If you're in need of prayer, a listening ear, or a Bible study companion, we've got you covered. Check the numbers on your screen. Thank you for tuning in today. Stay connected with us for more faith-filled content, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode of Go and Multiply. See you next time. Keep shining for Christ.